School understudy Kinjirō Sakamachi begins his day with an excruciating arousing from his more youthful sister, Kureha Sakamachi. Upon landing in school, Subaru Konoe is viewed as an understudy steward for Kanade Suzutsuki. While chilling in the bathroom, he risks Subaru wearing a young lady's clothing, which brings about Subaru pursuing Kinjirō to the science lab and going after him for what he saw. She makes sense of that the Konoe family has served the Suzutsuki family through genealogy, where Subaru, as the lone youngster of her age, should dress in drag as a kid to go to secondary school and keep filling in as a steward. Because of reports that Kinjirō and Subaru are seeing someone, procure the wrath of a group of followers named the Falling Star Subaru-sama, or the S4. However, their endeavors are impeded by a surrendered group of followers called the Serve Subaru Observational Council. Kanade has Kinjirō go on a false date with Subaru at an arcade, trying to fix his gynophobia, while giving him a steward voucher with a sheep drawing, redeemable for any irrefutable request to Subaru, as an expression of remorse for her activities. In the wake of winning a sheep plushie for her close to the furthest limit of the date, Kinjirō reclaims the head servant voucher and orders Subaru to baa like a sheep. However, at that point, she begins disregarding his own space while requesting more requests. Kureha, who has been keeping an eye on them, unexpectedly shows up, in which she accepts that Subaru is a kid dressing in drag as a young lady. Subaru effectively overcomes Kureha in a battle and makes her run back home. The following day, as Kinjirō and Subaru begin holding as companions, they help each other from uncovering their particular privileged insights, gynophobia, and female character. During a school actual assessment, regardless of the significant shame they are compelled to go through. After the two partake in lunch together, Kanade shows up while Subaru is dozing, telling Kinjirō that Subaru has at last tracked down her most memorable companion. At the point when Kinjirō gets back, he is stunned when Kureha uncovers that she has fallen head over heels for Subaru. To settle an issue, Kanade sets up a twofold date at the pool with Kinjirō, Subaru, and Kureha. Kinjirō is informed that Kanade and Subaru were once hijacked to recover when they were kids. Afterward, Kinjirō salvages a young lady from muffling, however that point passes, and a flashback uncovers that he was made sense of by his hospitalized father, Kinjirō Sakamachi, that his name signifies "stand by me" due to the kanji character in his name for close. At the point when Kinjirō recaptures cognizance, Subaru gets a call from a bizarre man in a wolf veil, who has grabbed Kanade and Kureha at an incomplete structure. At the point when the hijacker hangs up in the wake of holding a blade, Subaru shudders because of her aichmophobia, the bleak apprehension about sharp items, coming from the damaging episode from her life as a youngster, where she feels lacking as a head servant from her failure to safeguard Kanade as a kid. Kinjirō takes her out, promising her any blessing he will owe to her. At the point when Kinjirō meets the ruffian at the incomplete structure, Kinjirō can't land a hit. That is until Subaru appears and overcomes the hijacker herself, defeating her aichmophobia. It just so happens the criminal is Subaru's dad, Nagari Konoe, in which this episode was organized by Kanade to assist Subaru with conquering her aichmophobia, accepting that Kinjirō would help since he could identify the matter. Afterward, Subaru mournfully tells Kinjirō not to take a chance with himself once more, apprehensive that her most memorable companion would turn out to be cut. In any case, Kureha intrudes on their second, accidentally uncovering that Kanade should be going out with Kinjirō. Subaru quickly responds with outrage, compelling Kinjirō to take off with Kanade from both Subaru and Kureha. Kinjirō finally begins a cheerful morning with the start of Golden Week, since Kureha has to handcrafting club camp for 3 days. Since Subaru does not want Kinjirō to lay around early in the morning, the two trains inside the gym pass the time. Subaru declines to return to the mansion because she wants to take care of Kinjirō, fearful that she might lose him from an illness just like her late mother. Though lightheaded from his cold, Kinjirō convinces Subaru to make amends with Nagari and return to the mansion together. At the end of Golden Week, Subaru thanks Kinjirō in embarrassment before leaving, in which Kanade notes that this is the first time that Subaru has thanked anyone other than her. On the way to school, Kinjirō gets run over by a girl on a scooter, soon noticing that she attends his high school. After Kinjirō retrieves his glasses, the girl introduces herself as Masamune Usami, an acquaintance of Kureha in the handcrafting club, before knocking him out. Kinjirō suddenly wakes up in the infirmary, where Subaru reveals that she found him passed out in the middle of the street and brought him to school. Subaru eventually requests Kinjirō to accompany her to the upcoming school festival. Kinjirō later runs into Masamune on the school roof, who reveals that she is a member of the S4. but she demands him to be her boyfriend for the school festival, showing evidence regarding the mock date Kinjirō had with Subaru at the arcade as blackmail to undermine the observational committee. Kinjirō later walks with Masamune to the mall to buy her a swimsuit, though it is quite embarrassing for Kinjirō. During the school festival, Subaru interrupts Kinjirō and Masamune during their fake date. Kinjirō is then drawn out by Nakuru, dressed in a sheep mascot costume, and she introduces herself as a handcrafting club member and the chairwoman of the observational committee. Nakuru is aware that Masamune is planning to undermine the observational committee, especially since Masamune lied about protecting Kinjirō from the S4. Kinjirō explains to Subaru that the two fan clubs are organizing a meeting, which may turn into a war with him stuck in the middle. At the meeting, Kinjirō and Subaru, joining the observational committee, are surprised that Kanade is a representative of the S4. In response, Kinjirō reveals his gynophobia to Masamune and later introduces her to Subaru and Kanade as her new friends. On his way home, Kinjirō is drugged by Subaru with a drink made by Kanade, and he later finds himself in a hot springs resort, where Kanade explains that she has run away from the mansion because her parents decided to travel abroad for the summer holidays. It is also mentioned that Kanade told the innkeeper that she was eloping with Kinjirō as a cover story, though Kinjirō is aware that Subaru and Kanade's ulterior motive was to help him cure his gynophobia while at the beach. When Kinjirō goes to the beach cafe to buy a drink, he is surprised to see Kureha, Masamune, and Nakuru working there. But that is because they were chased away from their camp by shark. Subaru overhears this and runs off upset, but as Kinjirō catches up to her, he clarifies that Masamune cooked for him as a favor for the fake date and tried an intimate approach to cure his gynophobia, though Subaru punches him in the stomach for exaggerating the details. Having trouble sleeping due to the sight of the girls around him, Kinjirō goes into the men's bath to calm himself, but Subaru is there as well since she is protecting her female identity from being discovered. Subaru is forced to hide behind Kinjirō when Nagari also enters the men's bath. Nagari leaves after he is convinced that Kinjirō considers Subaru only as a friend. The next day, Kinjirō and the girls, in which Subaru pretends to be Punyuru again, go to the beach to have fun and then head to the summer festival. Kanade, after using a pair of glasses to lure Nakuru away and then knocking Kinjirō out, is deemed the winner. Kinjirō wakes up to Subaru, and the two watch the fireworks together at the end of the summer festival. Kinjirō plans to remain friends with Subaru, but she wants something more than that. Kinjirō finds himself working part-time at a maid cafe to repay Masamune for the loan of her summer homework. After the manager teases Kinjirō of being Masamune's boyfriend, he recalls Subaru telling him to ignore what she said about wanting to be more than just friends. Meanwhile, Subaru frantically searches for Kanade, only to be mistaken as a waitress at a butler cafe, having to work there part-time. Fortunately, Subaru finally finds Kanade to take her back to the mansion, but Kinjirō catches up to Subaru, who clarifies that she wants nothing more than to be his best friend. When Kinjirō returns to the maid cafe, Masamune invites him to continue working there and offers him to copy her school notes anytime. Nakuru and Masamune act out a romantic skit of a spoof involving Kinjirō and Subaru, which is too much for Masamune to handle. She recalls Kinjirō giving her a brown teddy bear for her 8th birthday. She then plays an originally developed arcade video game with Kanade, with Kinjirō and Kureha being the playable characters. While Subaru and Kanade take her home, Kureha recalls that Kinjirō came to the playground to take her home for her 10th birthday, after a spat she had with her mother. Kinjirō played video games with her all day on her 12th birthday. He got her ice cream at a dairy ranch on her 13th birthday, and he burned firecrackers with her in the backyard on her 14th birthday. However, Kureha was frustrated when Kinjirō disregarded her 15th birthday for a concert event that took place all day. While walking to school together, Kinjirō and Subaru almost get run over by Masamune with her scooter. During lunchtime, Kanade brings a delicious meal to share with Kinjirō and Subaru. After he takes Subaru to the infirmary, he later takes Kanade to the infirmary there as well when she begins to experience an episode of hiccups. Kanade tells Subaru to get the tools needed for the hiccup treatment, giving Kanade the chance to seduce Kinjirō, but he pushes his way out and bumps into Subaru. After Kanade seemingly has stopped hiccuping, the three walk down the hallway. That is until Kanade suddenly falls down a flight of stairs and injures her ankle. At the hospital, Subaru blames herself for not being able to prevent Kanade from falling. When Kinjirō arrives at school and asks Kanade where Subaru is, he is shocked when Kanade tells him that Subaru has transferred schools. However, Subaru comes to the school as a transfer student dressed as Punjiro, while has to walk Kanade to class. With that in mind, Kinjirō riskily enlists the help of the S4 to get petitions signed so that Subaru can become a butler again. The next day, Subaru reprises her duties as a butler for Kanade, in which Kanade makes up a cover story about Punjiro transferring to another school again. Later that night, Subaru summons Kinjirō to the park, where she thanks him by planting a kiss on him. At the Butler Cafe, Nakuru shows Subaru that the photo came out too foggy to decipher, and that she needed one to be sold to help publish her YOA novels. Kanade shows up and donates some photos of Subaru in her butler's suit for Nakuru to sell. Later at Kinjiro's house, Nakuru has Kureha and Masamune put together copies of her YOA novels. As Nakuru compensates Kureha with some photos of Subaru, Kureha allows Nakuru and Masamune inside Kinjiro's room, which is when Nakuru placed the YOA magazine in the stash of the other magazines. Nakuru hesitates when she asks Subaru a question left untold. Later, Kureha and Masamune go undercover and follow Nakuru to various places, including a book fair where she sold out all of her YOA novels, and they take notice that she was viewing romance novels. As the flashback ends, Nakuru asks Kinjirō out on a date to a boardwalk, where she eventually admits to having a complex with her breasts, since she turned down a confession from a boy in the past assuming that to be the reason.